Hello and welcome to this new episode of Mind Explorations, the Mind Explorations Facebook group. You can find where we have these kinds of sessions like every 2 weeks or, however often we can or I manage. And today I have Carmen, Carmen, as a guest. And the first question I have for you is, how do you pronounce your last name? We didn't establish that. How bad is that?
I tell everybody not to worry, especially in English. There's just so many vowels, but you can try with Sauciuc.
Sauciuc.
Very good.
Ha,
Yes.
thank you. So we have Carmen Sauciuc as our guest, and Carmen is going to talk about identity level architecture. And she's told me that she has a lot of images to explain what she's talking about, and she will do this in a kind of presentation style in a moment. But first of all, we would like to introduce you. So, Carmen, tell me where you are from, what you do, how you got into hypnotherapy or therapy in general. Yeah, let me just know who you are, what you do.
Thank you, Astrid. I'm happy to be here and talking to you and to your peeps. I'm in Chicago. I've been in Chicago for quite a number of years, 36 years. And I was born in Romania, all European, so I'm Romanian American, American European. And I got into hypnosis many years ago. I used to work in a corporate environment. So many years ago, and I didn't start by being a hypnotherapist. It took after many years after I realized what personal development, spiritual development, and identity architecture, the power of what it has over the psyche. So once I realized how powerful it is, I decided to become a hypnotherapist, and I got board certified as a trainer, as an instructor, and so on. So as I was saying, many years ago, and at least in 2010, where I started my 2007, I started my spiritual development. I dove very deep into Jungian alchemy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was Jungian alchemy at the time, but it was fascinating. But before I go further into that, I need to mention that I am extremely gifted with systems, with the basic of the system and how everything connects and talks to each other. So the human body, it's an entire system, and everything connects and talks to each other. As a hypnotherapist, we have the brain and heart. Hopefully, every hypnotherapist combines the heart into it, that connects and talks to each other. So even through my corporate career, I was naturally gifted with systems. So as I'm diving deeper into Jungian alchemy before a hypnosis, which is a lot of hypnosis, which is a lot of journeying to the heart of identity, to the heart of becoming who you want to become. For me, it was that easy to understand what it does over the psyche and over the personal identity.
Mm-hmm.
So me as a human, I always know who I was, whether I grew up in Romania, whether I moved over here, I always knew who I was. I had, let's just leave it there. I had a really good sense of who I am at all times, high awareness, right? But as I was, how do I say this? As I progressed my understanding into the system of this Jungian alchemy, it became very clear to me that not everybody knows who they are. That is something that comes easy to me. So I've been developing this ever since for a lot of years. First I wrote the books Creating Ease, the trilogy, and to introduce this part, I call them at the time thought feeling practices, because not everybody understands journeying. And And at that time, when was I writing? I started writing in 2013. I published 2014 the first book. But ever since then, I've been developing this identity architecture. And I called this system feelfulness at feel. And the reason I called that is because mindfulness kept on saying, you have to feel it if you want it to happen. You have to, and this is how you do mindfulness, you have to feel it. And for I say, yeah, you have to feel it, because I was already feeling it. I knew how to feel it, specific things. And after a while, I realized that all of these gurus, they would say, that's what you have to do, but they didn't show how. Then I got insulted. My knowledge got insulted. And I said, oh, then I decided this is how I'm going to call it. Fearfulness, as being the evolution. So what is identity? Identity is who you are, what moves through you, and who you are becoming.
Now, before you start, because I'm going to let you start the presentation soon, I know you want to, but which kinds of clients do you use this process for? Or who do you mainly work with?
Well, hypnosis, but also development. My coaching is neuro coaching. It's not, I mean, we tackle life, but I always dive deep into the identity with the neuro coaching, rewiring, not just patterns and modalities, but rewiring what in their identity at the deepest level is it interfering with their perception of who they are and what they want to accomplish, and they don't feel good about it, and they have stress and all of that. There's hypnosis involved in it. A lot of, especially when I work with trauma, I do alchemical hypnosis. But neuro coaching has a lot to do with fearfulness identity architecture.
So for those of us who don't know what alchemical hypnosis is, can you briefly explain the term?
Yes, and I like I like when I'm using this terminology with my hypno colleagues. In regression, when we do regression, there's so many types of past life regression, age regression, whatever regression. And I had a lot of past life regression myself when I began my spiritual journey. And I had about 24, 30 sessions of past life regression. So having gone through the experience and seeing what happens during the past life regression, when I started working with hypnosis and with trauma people, having already experienced the Jungian alchemy, I started to alchemize their experiences, because it is not sufficient, and past life regressions are going to be upset with me, but don't be upset with me. In regression, if you don't alchemize regression, you just re-traumatize to some degree, or you create experiences that will later create some trauma. I've experienced the experiences in my past life regression. Some of the movies I went through, I still think about it. A lot of them, I walked out of it crying, right? So go ahead.
Yeah. Still the term alchemization of the past life regression. What would that be in one sentence? Because I'm a bit lost.
Yes, in a regression, we regress to a trauma, to the part of the trauma, to a pain that is altered the identity that somebody has difficulties in life. So when I alchemize a regression, I've already identified that part of the identity, right? Pieces of the soul, pieces of the mind. And when I start with the scope is to allow the subconscious to take us there as much as the subconscious is comfortable, no pushing anything, right? So as we get there, then I walk them through movies. Images, what they see, what they feel, who's there, who's not there. And the most interesting questions, like who's there? And then it just pops up and I go, I see, right? So, and then also observing their reaction. It's
Right.
sometimes it's just a deep sigh. I mean, the eye might be moving and stuff, but it can be a deep sigh. They adjust their body. And then we begin to alchemize. I don't sit into telling them, how do you feel about it? Absolutely not, because I already know how they feel about it. I ask them to change, right? And at the very beginning, depending if the client has had hypnosis or not, I take it to pure shamanism, nature. Some of them, they get initiated. It just happens, and that's wonderful. But I take them in nature, stones, water, dirt, trees, and so on, and that says a lot to their experiences, and I utilize that to make things happen, to alchemize, to change. If a house is small, make it bigger. If the doors are closed, make a door happen. Is a door happen? Walk through the door. Who's over there? Who are you talking to? Who showed up? How intense is it, their presence? Make their presence smaller. How tall are they comparing to you? Well, they're very tall. They're about 30 meters taller, and I'm only 2 meters. And I can, okay, then make them shorter. And it takes time, right? And I encourage them to do that. Or there are a lot of walls, like brick walls. They go into a castle, and then before I have them, sometimes you take the bricks down, the walls down, sometimes you don't, depending. And if they go to a castle, who made you feel small? Was the king? Was the queen? Who was that? And then what if you become the king and the queen? And because that is their identity, right? And at the time, you should see people just taking deep sigh. And when they take a deep sigh, especially with identity architecture, I know it just went there.
Right. So if I understand it right, if you make somebody taller or less dangerous, whatever, that seems to have some relationship with NLP, for example, submodalities, etc. So my question would be, how much of this is based in best practice of NLP and neuroscience, etc.? How much is evidence based, or how would you say it? Your system, your process is, designed in how many parts are what?
Neuroscience, NLP reframes, alchemy transforms. So alchemy takes the lead of the unconscious to transform into the gold of consciousness. So NLP again reframes, and it is science-based because it's been there a long time. But alchemy is plain neuroscience. And I would like to go into the neuroscience. It takes quite a good amount of time to go into I love talking about the neuroscience. But how was the science beyond alchemy regression, the results you get in people?
Yeah. Okay.
They walk out of it looking 10 years younger at least.
Right. That sounds very interesting. Okay, so you get ready for the presentation. I'm going to get myself off screen in just a minute. And if you're watching the replay, and if you're watching now live, if you have any questions at any times, just put them into the chat here on the Zoom, or if you're on YouTube, just put the comments there and we can answer them later for you. Okay, right, Carmen, ready for you. I'm going to take myself off and enjoy.
All right, so I'm going to start this vision of portion of the screen. So what we are looking here is identity architecture. And what is architecture? We look right here at this image and we say that architecture is complicated. There's a lot of pieces and moving. Anything that's built has architecture to it, right? And identity is complex. It is this complex. Yeah, there's a lot to do with identity. And when we re-architect identity, when we go into healing, and also when we alchemize, it's a good amount of alchemy in architecting and re-architecting identity. And what we are familiar with, especially in NLP, because you mentioned NLP, is this internal representation of reality. But then this parts over here that you see in this rounded arrows, NLP does not talk about. Because once we have this, not even this many layers, I'm not aware of any NLP or talking about this many layers of what's not inside the head, but what makes us know who we are and what makes us understand reality of what happens, what we do, and again, who we are and how we interact. But all of that affects behavior, right? Behavior affects results. Results affects life experiences. But once you get this all together, you go into existential dimension because of the expanded awareness, right here, the expanded awareness, which you do with the thought feeling practices through fearfulness, you get into existential dimension. And this existential dimension, which I'm going to touch up later, again, gets the awareness even larger. Then the awareness begins to go down through all of these layers, all of your filters, meta programs, all of these other layers, all the way down to your habits, of course, your values, and your values and your beliefs, because you want to get to the beliefs and the values, but working with values and beliefs, just with that, not sufficient. Working with habits, just that, not sufficient. Memories are also an integral part of neuroscience. So we talk about memory. It's not like something you remember that something has happened or you memorized, right? So all of this, it creates what we understand as architecture of who we are. But again, behavior, all of this, our reality creates behavior, then results, life experience, existential dimension, deeper awareness, and then goes all the way down to values and beliefs. But taking from William James, which is the father of functional psychology, function is the most important of what we do, because we don't just are, we behave, we experience, and that has a function. Systems have a function. Identity has a function. We all have a function. So just William James related, he talks about different layers. So right here in a bigger circle, this is the conscious image that we have of the self, of you, of me, of who you are, right? But then within that, we have the real self, this lighter color, right? And within that, we have the dreaded self, the ego, right? But then we have the unconscious self. So as hypnotists, we work a lot with the unconscious and the dreaded, the ego. And everybody beats on the ego. It just beats it up and it's upset with the ego. And ego is the bad guy. It's not the bad guy. Ego is the one that protects you. It protects your unconscious, right? And then your real self, which you're growing into it, then you are becoming nicer to the ego, and ego is becoming nicer to you. And then as you keep on expanding, then your conscious image of the self gets more wholesome. And but then after that, we begin to understand that what affects you as the person, the self, as your identity, there is another layer to it. Family, church, school, friends, conscious and unconscious, part of the collective. You influence that, but you are influenced by. So first you become aware that you are influenced by all of this other layer of the collective unconscious. But then we have more. Then on top of that, we have the other layer. We have the collective of the country, the city, the group, the collective of the country and the city region that you live in. You are influenced by it, and you're also influencing. Yeah, when I lived in Romania, I was influenced by Romanianism in a particular way. Now that I've been living in the US for the longest time, I influenced by Americanism in a particular way. So my identity, it's not that it changes, but it adds more elements to my identity, to the self. And as I become more aware of my identity and what moves through me and who I am becoming, then I choose some of the Romanianism in me to not carry with me, to not engage in. And for the same, I choose some of the Americanism not to engage, not to choose to be part of my identity. And this goes with everybody, conscious and unconscious. But on top of the country and the group, then we have the planetary. Sorry about that. Then we have the planetary, the global, the collective, conscious and unconscious. This also affects us, affects you, me, everybody, affects the self. And the collective. So Carl Jung talks about the collective unconscious that comes at the many different layers. So going further, so already we understand how complex identity is, but there's much more to it. Now, William James also talking about the metaphysical I, he talks about the me, the subjective me and the objective me, the unconscious thoughts, the delusions, the meta delusions, and the experiences. And it takes a while to go over this image, but I'm going to skip through it, just understanding that there is a complexity into how we experience the me self and the I self, right? And what we're doing with identity and what we're doing with all of the healing, and as we grow up, whether we're aware of or not, we do transcend. And Carl Jung talks about the ego consciousness. Look how small it is in comparison to all that there is. And here's the collective unconscious, and then here's the shadow that we carry within our shadow, and the shadow of the other layers of the collective, which I explained earlier. So, and then here's in pink over here, it's our unconscious. Then there's consciousness and unconscious, and you can think of this pinkish and grayish consciousness, all of the consciousness explained earlier, and the unconscious, all of the unconsciousness explained earlier. So what we're doing as we grow and as we become who we become, we are transcending. So in order to transcend, we create a bridge from the collective and the shadow, a bridge through the consciousness, which again, the ego is not a bad guy. And the way that bridge has to do with the soul. So you have to, if you want to create that bridge and walk over to the bridge to befriend your ego and allow the ego to continue to protect you and again, be your friend, you have to bring the soul into it. But there is nothing without the soul. The soul is there, whether we are aware of it or not. Once we do that, once we begin to transcend all of this identity to what I explained earlier, it begins to shift our behavior to a high degree that changes the results, changes life experiences, existential dimension, expands awareness, and trickles down all the way to all of these layers, filters, meta programs, habits, memories, values, and beliefs. So this is very important. So there's a lot of elements to identity, right? And talking about the soul, consciousness, we also need to understand that there are at least 3 levels. That is the lower self of the unconscious mind, that is the middle self of the conscious mind, and then there is the super conscious mind as the higher self. Think about it as the soul. And these are layers of thought, and these are value level things. I'm going to skip through it. So again, let's go to Carl Jung, because we were talking about alchemizing, Jungian alchemy. So Carl Jung, just like William James, explained to us the self in a very good amount of detail, so we can understand and kind of put our finger on it. Carl Jung goes over in his individuation process, talks about the personas and the shadows. So what we know of the identity being identity is pretty much our personas. Also know the mask, the social role, the cultural norms, the expectations we embody, who we become. Again, what I presented earlier by William James, the school, the work, family, the friends, all of the other layers of the collective. But these personas, they're not necessarily personalities, right? Because your shadows are in your personalities, your soul are in personalities. These personas is not just who we are, it's not just identity. Now, shadows, again, shadows are not bad. They're not a bad guy. In shadows, we have our weaknesses, desires, lust, instincts, shortcoming, things we project onto others. And what we do with the shadow, we want to bring that into light. We become aware of it, we become conscious. And once you become conscious, then you decide you want to continue to have this desire, this lust, these weaknesses. What do you do with it, right? So you have choices. But in order to come to individuation, to become whole in the self, in your identity, you have to bring the soul in, the spiritual in. It just doesn't happen without it. And science doesn't like that, but they're beginning to get a hold of it, especially through the neuroscience. And the soul also have two aspects, as explained by Carl Jung: the anima and the animus. The anima being the feminine aspect, and the animus being the masculine aspect. And the spiritual work, in the alchemical spiritual work that is done with the feminine, masculine, is just one of the most beautiful work that creates, it develops a great balance within your identity. And again, we begin to transcend as we work through the individuation. This transcendence becomes more conscious and at a larger scale. So, and also we've seen this diagram in many different forms, that identity is made of the mind, the body, the heart, and the soul. And these are human needs, but I need to get here. So the way we do in Fearfulness, in identity architecture, the path to individuation, healing your identity, becoming whole, we take your personas in a mask, which is pretty much the mind, is the north part of yourself. And we bring it down through the self. There's just too many thoughts over there. So we begin to quiet some of those thoughts, expanding your awareness, and we begin to bring it to the center, right, through the work that we do. And it's many different kinds of work that we do. Not all of them arrive to the self. Then we take the shadow, the projection, and they're a lot related to our emotions. Now, let me specify that in the English language, emotions and feelings, I need to specify that they're different. Other languages, they have different words for emotions and different words for feeling. So let's just make a note of it, that feelings are different than emotions, and emotions are different than feelings, although we currently are using the same in many aspects. So as the shadow projector has to do with emotions, we bring them up, right, through the work. But then also that is the west side of the self, which has to do with the physical body. We bring the physicalness into the self. Then there is the east side of the personhood, which is the spirit. We take that and we bring that into the personhood, into your center. And you see how all of the circles that they're interconnected, interrelated. But when and then this is the self-identity in a circle. But when all of this become mixed together, then there is a even smaller area of the self. And this is where your identity resides. And your identity is there already. It's just a matter of you becoming aware of it. It's right here. See how all of the circles interconnect. So with Fearfulness, with my alchemical regression, with my neuro coaching, what I do, I take your mental, your thoughts, lower the north through the south. I take your emotions, the south part of it, the transforming the feeling, and bring them up to the north to come to the center. And I take your physical behavior, move it through the east to come to your center. And then I take your spiritual just go all over. Spiritual wants to be all places, well, not incarnated. And we bring it as behavior, we bring it to the center.
I have a question, Carmen.
Yes,
yes. Do you do this? Do you explain this like that to the client when you work with them?
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. I use images a lot, because an image is worth 1,000 words, and you've already while I was talking, you were experiencing the images, and the words that I'm using are not sufficient to present a concept. And as you see an image, you are already processing it. There is a neuroscience happen. There is a neural repatterning as you look through, as you walk through the image. And images are just very highly important. And if you just talk, just words, well, some you remember, some you forget, but an image, you will remember an image.
So you take the clients through this with the images. Do you do all of the presentation that you're doing with us now with the client, like in the first session, or do you split it up?
So, I split it up depending on where we are. But some of the most I start with pretty much with this. So they begin to understand what happens in their head. It's not just head, it's just behavior and heart and all of that. And then I also take them through, it doesn't want to click. Okay. Then I also take them through this layers of the self as William James.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And eventually, where was I? Doesn't want to click. Okay. So eventually, I'm going to keep this shorter. So
the Southwest, those.
Yes. So this is the shamanism element that we take from shamanism, because shamanism, the psychology of the uncivilized world was shamanism. There is no psychology without shamanism. There is no hypnosis without shamanism. And before anything, the healing the self, there was shamanism, then there was hypnosis, well, alchemy too, then was hypnosis, then there was psychology. And I run through this in detail in my Fearfulness book. So when I begin to work with identity, we take all of these elements that I describe, and I take you into geometric forms. There's just something magical about it. It just creates something. And I'm going to just give you a secret. Okay, I'm just going to give you the secret because you're my colleagues. Right. When you take someone through a geometric form and you have them be inside this geometric form, you already create confusion and double binding and depotentiation. The mind is already quieter, and this works extremely well with high intellectuals, because you have the mind doing something, the conscious mind doing something, not being bored and not interfering with the story. So no, there is no, just worry on the focus on the image, and at the same time, then we go straight into the neuroscience, straight into the identity of what do you need to be. And this is neuro coaching, but there is also conversational hypnosis.
So that's real images, not imagined images.
Well, the pyramid, it's a real image. No, you imagine. You imagine. Then some people construct in their home pyramids and they sit on top of it. But I work with all of the 5 platonic solids. So that, again, that's a different part of shamanism, sacred geometry. But sacred geometry is also a part of the alchemy. And when we have time, I'm going to tell you how I ended up with sacred geometry. Okay, just 1 second. I ended up in sacred geometry because I was, through my spiritual, I fell in love with creator gods. Then I wanted to paint creator God. See, I'm doing images. So it was such a pure and sweet and honest desire to do that eventually, within a year, couple of months, I ran over sacred geometry and I said, that's it. This is creator. This is God. I'm gonna paint it. You don't paint, it's something you draw. So I was painting acrylics. So that initiated me. It just opened fields of knowledge. Talk about dimensional, existential dimension. You never knew existed, and I love taking people through that. So that's sacred geometry. But right now, what we're going to do little bit of experiment. We're going to do higher mind practice. Let's call it notice and observe, right? Some you hear in a spiritual circle, a higher mind. That's not what you hear, because this is different. It's not the higher self. You don't go anywhere. You stay very present, and this is a lot of neuroscience happens as you go through this. So the lower mind is everything outside of you, all of this, where your attention is allocated to the events, to everything outside of you. And we are so involved, and this is how we experience ourselves, through everything that happens outside. What I have to do, what my roles are, who said what, who hurt me, how, all of that, that's outside. But you, within you, in the core of you, within your identity, we don't sit there, we don't reside. And when we reside, we're not aware of it. Actually, we do reside all of the time, but we're just busy being out in the world, out in the city, out in the garden, instead of just being at home, you know. So through this exercise, I'm going to have you bring your attention. See, there is a movement. We're going to take your attention and bring it. I'm going to bring it to the notice point, and then we're going to bring it to the observe point. So this is eyes. It's not hypnosis, although it's hypnotic. We don't go in trance, but if you go in trance, that's fine. There's different levels of trance. And why this exercise is important, and I take every neuro coaching goes through that, and even Jungian Alchemy, it goes through that. Fearfulness training goes through that, and it's a metacognition. Eventually, we want to arrive to the simultaneous time. Well, we're not going to arrive to simultaneous time right now. You might experience a little bit of it, but simultaneous time, it's a highly advanced metacognitive skill. So are we ready for the practice?
There we go. There's my unmuting. Yeah, I think so. All right.
No question.
Nope.
I dazzle everybody already. You are all very clear about identity. What I do, identity, what you're going to do with all of this information. Yeah, no question, not even a small little question.
Not yet, okay. I guess, but it'll come.
Okay, it will come. All right, so let's have a little bit of an exercise. How much more time do we have, Astrid?
Now, 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Good.
I'm going to do 10 minutes of it. Before I start with this, I want you to be aware that you will feel some pressure in your head. It's natural. If there is too much pressure, just reset, move, I don't know, pinch yourself, move your head, reset. This, I want this to be comfortable for you. You will not understand. This is not intellectual. Although this is intellectual, so it just expands. This expands everything. We are not used to residing in our identity with eyes open, right? Especially when we interact with people. So just let it be something you have no clue of what you're doing. You cannot do it wrong. Unless you do it wrong when you don't do it. And you say, oh, okay, yeah, I heard about it. Well, then you do it wrong, all right? So it's up to you if you want to do it, if you don't want to do it, but just give it a play. This is just playful. We're going to play with it. There is no wrong way to do it. And as we do, you're going to feel some pressure. If there is too much pressure in your head, it's just neuroscience. That's the scientific part of it, is this experience. You want the scientists want more than that. Just reset. So right now, if I can see, how can I see this in a...
Well, do you want to see all of us?
Yes, but everybody needs to see this image. Okay, I would like to see everybody, but I rather have everybody look at this image. But if everybody has gotten this image, they didn't know what we're going to do because they've already seen the image, then I would like to see everybody. So any smaller question before I go?
Yep. So we're going to focus like at the space behind our eyes first. Is that correct? And then at the space at the back of the head?
No,
Okay.
no, we're going to start with a little bit a simpler thing, because there will be a sensation in your focal length. Your focal length resides in the muscle of your eyes. When we look farther, the focal length adjusts for farther, and when we look closer, the focal length adjusts. So for right now, we're just going to play with taking a finger to whatever distance you are. I'm going to have to be, and then you look at the finger, and then you bring it closer to your eyes, just for the purpose of noticing the muscles. Just noticing how your muscles around your eyes feel. So just take it even further, and then just slowly bring it closer, right? And then take it further and then closer. And then there will be a sensation. And if you take it far and then quickly closer, there will be a pressure in the muscle of your eyes. Yeah.
There is.
It's impossible for the pressure not to be there. And as you go slower, you will notice that the pressure is gradual. That's all there is to it, right? It's a sensation, it's a feeling, a sensation, okay? So you can have, so now as you, so with your attention being over there, so let it be at least at your arm's length as it is over there at your arm length. You just know what that is. You don't have to have your arm extended like that. So as your attention is there, your attention point, because there is a multitude of stimulus right now, and the attention goes all over. Okay, attention, focus, concentration, observation, 4 different things. So we're going to work with observation. So as your attention point is in observing mode, of being over there at the reach of your arm's length, just know that your attention point is there, and then bring your attention point closer to you. Just looking at me like this is not going to do anything for you. 0. It will do 0. So relax your back, your shoulders. Let this be playful. There's nothing to memorize right here. This is recorded. I have other recordings I can make available to you, but let it be playful. Put a little smile over there. Just squeeze this just a little bit. Yeah, it does something. It's neuroscience. As soon as you do that, there's neuroscience, right? It does something. So there you go. That's another sensation of a muscle. Muscle is doing something. It's playing neuroscience. So again, just have your attention point over there, somewhere over there, and then have an intention to bring that attention point closer to your eyes. If you look too far up, your eyes are going to get tired. Just be aware. If you're comfortable with that, then be comfortable with that. I'm okay with that. But if you look too far up, your eyes are going to get tired quicker. So just natural, normal, as you would look at something. You can even pick a point somewhere in your room that's farther than the screen and look at that. And then as you look at that, as you bring your attention point closer to you, have an intention, because you don't know what you're doing just yet. Just be playful and have fun with it, except for the pressure. The pressure is not going to be a lot of fun, but just have fun with what you're doing. As you bring your attention closer to you, you will notice something. Whatever you notice, don't need to label it as something, right? And as you bring your attention around your eyes. Eyes open, eyes closed, it's up to you, right? But hopefully you're not going to go straight in trance as soon as you close your eyes. I know it's in the afternoon for you. Just stay here. So have your attention around your eyes, and you already notice something, right? Very good. Just notice what you notice. We're just going to work with notice and observe. So now, again, take your attention point from around your eyes out of there again. Eyes open or eyes closed, your attention point will go there. It's not a matter of belief. It's there. It's a sensation. So just notice what you notice. Very good. So you're just going to have a lot of thoughts and a lot of events that happening, and you probably go through some story. Just let the story be there. Like put it in a waiting room. You'll get back to the story. It's important, but just a waiting room. So as you have your attention point over there, slowly bring it to around your eyes again. If it's too much pressure and we haven't gotten into the real pressure of it, just reset a little bit. Open your eyes. If your eyes are closed, move your head a little bit, blink, whatever. Just have another muscle do something. It will reset. There you go. Very good. Very good. So again, I want you to have your attention point over there, where you pick the point. There we go. Yes. Yes. So from over there, I want you to bring it around your eyes. Be playful. It's impossible to do this wrong unless you don't do it. Just be playful. There's so much that's happening. This is metacognition. So as you have your attention around the eyes one more time, go over there to the point and just notice what you notice. Every time you do this, it will be slightly different experience. That's all right. All right, now you went too much in your thoughts. Okay, let your thoughts go in a waiting room. Okay, more of you have thoughts in a waiting room. Good. All right, so now as you have your attention point over there, bring your attention around your eyes. Good. All right. So now from around your eyes, this is where the pressure is going to be. Have your attention go back about 1.5 inches, like 3.4 centimeters. There's going to be a little pressure. That's all right. It's just neuroscience. It's just some muscles over there. Yeah, there's so much we are rewriting, which is working with hippocampus and basal ganglia and amygdala. It's just all of it. Yeah. Limbic system. So from behind your eyes and 3.5 centimeters behind, about 1.5 inches. And from there, come back to around your eyes. Let the pressure be there. Reset if you need to. And notice what you notice from behind your eyes. Just again, 1.5 inches back, about 3.4 centimeters. If my numbers are correct. Very good. And again, behind your eyes. And you notice the experience. There is a change. Something happens when you do that. That is, the experience is not in words, other than the pressure, other than the words you hear from me. So again, from behind your eyes, go back 1.5 inches, about 3.4 centimeters. And from there, I want you to go up about 1 inch, about lesser centimeters, 2 point something centimeters. All right, now, okay, now go back down to, and then down and then in front behind your eyes. Nothing complicated, just play with it. Very good. Some of you are doing very, very good. Don't be afraid of a little pressure. This is doing so much for you. So from behind your eyes, back 1.5 inches, and then up 1 inch. Yes, up 1 inch. And you see there is so much openness. It's like a big, enormous cathedral. There is so much space, quietness. There is an echo, as if your thoughts would echo in this cathedral. You should have back right there. There is quiet, precision. Okay, go back there. Okay, raise a little bit. Okay, go back. All right, very good. 1.5 inches back, 1 inch up. There's a little bit of pressure. Let the pressure be there, but also be aware of the expansiveness. There's a huge space that opens. The field of possibilities, the field of knowledge. There's a focus, a clarity, a precision. Everything is available to you from this point. From behind your eyes, an inch head back, an inch up. Let the pressure be there, it'll soon be over. Just the pressure just tells you you are actually doing that. That's the science. You measure. I got you to be there, inch and a half back, an inch up. All right, you got tired. Okay, so now from up you go an inch down. Notice the difference. Yes, you're also gonna feel it in your chest and stomach. That's all right. And then go an inch and a half back towards the eyes. Very good. So now the focus and clarity is not as spacious. It's different, but it doesn't have as much spaciousness, as much, it's not as vast. The huge cathedral is not there anymore. Very good. So now from behind your eyes, go back an inch and a half. Very good. See how good you're getting at it? From an inch and a half back, an inch up. Excellent. You cannot do this wrong. So just allow this, again, access the openness, the spaciousness, the focus, the clarity. The focus is effortless, the clarity is so extended, the precision becomes so precise. And the more you practice this, the pressure will begin to dissipate, to go away eventually. I am in the space all the time. So as people are walking, as I'm gonna say a few sentences, continue to go walk this path from up, down, and then from down back to behind the eyes. As a lot of people are talking about, once you begin into the transcendental meditation, you begin to walk with the feet in both worlds, being in the world, but not of the world. This is how you get there in the shortest amount of time. Snap your fingers. You practice this, I don't know, a few times, and you just learn to observe your environment and everything that happens, the experience from this place. So behind your eyes again, I know I gave you a few sentences and I took you out of there. That's all right, just notice. Behind your eyes, an inch and a half back. Very good. And then an inch up. Yes, and you feel that again. And would you notice how capable you are? There is a certainty that's effortless in that point. There's no question about it, absolutely. There is a capableness, there is a certainty. And there is a newfound joy. I did it, look at that, I did it. Yeah, there's a pressure, but I did that. Let all of that be without words. The only words in your head are going to be the words I say. Neuro language. Capable. Inch and a half back, an inch up. Capable. Certain. Joy. And what now? What if you add curious to it? Curiosity. This is the very basic layer of your identity, of who you are. Very basic. Curious, capable, certain. Okay, go back an inch and a half and an inch up. And just be curious about the spaciousness of capable, how much capableness exists in the space, how much certainty exists in the space, because your focus, it's very precisely aligned. And then joyfulness, like, oh yeah, I reached that. Yes. So piece of cake together. So now make a choice. Make a choice to be there, to have your attention there. Okay. So behind your eyes, again, an inch and a half back and an inch up. So continuing to observe from an inch up, you go down an inch. You felt that, and then go forward behind your eyes an inch and a half. There you go. Just notice what you notice. The pressure will go away. Just let the pressure be there. It will go away as soon as we finish this. You're not going to stay in here 20 minutes. So from behind your eyes, 1.5 inches back, and notice what you notice. From 1.5 inches, go up 1 inch and notice what you notice. Oh, oh yeah, did you feel that? Oh, I know all of that joy, that focus, capable, curiosity. There is a fullness, there's an expansiveness of who you are, an identity of what moves through you, who you're becoming. And when you have this openness and spaciousness available to you, why would you not? So you want to engage with this. Okay, so go down 1 inch and then come back 1.5 inches. So proud of you. Oh, yes. Look at the capableness. It's not about you believing it, you're already capable. And the certainty you're experiencing. It's a lot of certainty. And the joy, it's a quiet joy. It's a joy of knowing. Joy of accomplishing. So much neuroscience, dopamine, serotonin, acetylcholine, GABA, endorphins, all free of charge. Okay, 1 inch down and 1.5 inches back behind your eyes. Okay, you want to do this more? Yeah, you want to do this more, I know. All right. So when you're ready, not just yet, some people are complete, continue to do this as I'm going to talk, as we're going to move the next step. Yeah, this is a lot of neuroscience. The more you do this, your cognitive reinforcement in your basal ganglia will love you. The more you reinforce this metacognition, the more it will be available to you like that. All of the limbic system will just quiet and say, oh, thank you for giving me a break. I am tired. And the neurotransmitters say, give me more, give me more, give me more. And then your default mode network, this is where your identity resides. They say, yes, thank you, coming back home. Mm-hmm. And another thing I want to mention, this is where therapeutic mastery needs to arrive. Something I also teach is, you probably remember me saying, yes, you got it. You're doing very good. Did you feel that? I felt you doing it. I felt you arriving at those points. I felt you feeling, experiencing the capable, certain, curious, joy, the focus, the precision. Why? Because I've been doing it a long time and I love teaching this. Therapeutic mastery. When you begin to feel this, you just feel it. Then at this point, you begin to create a therapeutic consciousness the client needs, and you begin to transfer to the client therapeutic consciousness. Now that is the ultimate level of therapeutic mastery. That's what I do. That's what I teach. For clients, I teach mastery. For therapists, I teach therapeutic mastery. All right, questions. I'm all yours.
Yeah, I have a question. You wouldn't
Yes.
expect it. What have we just done neuroscientifically?
I love that you don't remember, because I already said neuroscientific what we did, but I
know.
love that you don't remember.
No. The default mode network is happy. That's the identity level. The basal ganglia are happy. The hippocampus, I believe, was there as well. But yeah, just what happened to calm the limbic system? What exactly was the process? So
Well,
are we moving our eyes, the muscles of the eyes, and just unconsciously potentially, and that movement is doing something. What exactly has happened there?
The sensation, the experiential sensation you had, physical sensation, is the muscle of your eyes. What you moved is your attention point. Yeah. You engage, I have you engage your prefrontal cortex, the decision mechanism, which collaborated with you. It's like, oh, this is fun, let's do this, because it's not boring, it's not kindergarten. So you engage the prefrontal cortex and you quieted the limbic system, which I'm not going to say what the limbic system is going to say too many things, right? All of the auto being, okay, I'm not going to say those words. So you quiet the limbic system, and that by doing this, but also, so you've already bridged these two. You engage that, it's not boring, you quiet that because it's being tired, and then you deploy a lot of neurotransmitters, and your body loves it. But then the default mode network basal ganglia says, thank you, reinforcing it, give me more. Default mode network says, coming home, thank you for coming home. Good job.
And then I'm curious about the difference between an inch behind the eyes, that part, and an inch up. So there's expansiveness, space, etc. Why do we perceive it like that? Is it because you tell us, or is it because it really is there or is felt like that?
Because it's felt, because your experiences is real. This is you doing it. I'm just guiding you. It's real. This is when you begin to experience yourself, when you begin to engage in life, even with your thoughts from this place. Think of it as a place. Everything changes. The first thing that changes, like he said, she said, is like, oh well, that's what they said. Well, that's what I said. Well, it's different. Like having
so
a
this
larger view.
Yeah. So this is what you would do in spiritual practice, in connecting to your guides, etc. Going there, correct?
It's not just spiritual.
No, not just, but that's one of the ways I'm taught. But do you know, or can you tell me what the difference is like the mechanism behind it, from moving from this point to that point? I love knowing these things. Sorry if you can't, if you don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it's just having your attention point. It is the prefrontal cortex, the way the thoughts move, the way you experience, the way we process all of. Remember the image that has all kind of those layers in throughout the head. That, remember the existential dimensions that were kind of to the right and to the up of the image. That you enter that like that. Right.
So that's actually physically the physical layers, more or less.
Oh, absolutely. From the bottom, you just go whoop up. So let me go here and I'll here.
Go back to spotlighting you.
Image. Let me do this. Right here. See this image.
Right.
You expand your awareness an inch and a half back, an inch up right here. Your existential dimension, it just expands. And as that expands, you already, well, there's a little bit of pressure, but then when it goes down, all of this trickles down, right? And when you observe, you're capable, certain, curious, it just, there's nothing to, what you're going to filter to it that exists in this place, right? And then you get into the beliefs and the values, like, of course I am. And of course you are. There's zero doubt about it. And I have exercises that work with. I take clients and groups through those exercises.
Wonderful. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I saw you all going along very nicely. How was it for you? If you want to put it to the chat, you can. Or if you want to talk, you can as well. If you want to unmute yourselves, happy to put you on as well.
Everybody will have different experience. There is no wrong experience to have. Go ahead, Linda.
I really, really struggled with it. Every time I came close to my eyes or trying to go behind my eyes, I just got this wave of like pressure in the back of my head and nausea. So I had to stop. Do you have other clients that experience that?
No, you did it. a bit more intense if you even had nausea. You arrive at that need to have back and in trap. You've done it right. But we're gonna need to do a softer so you don't experience a nausea.
Yeah, it was just really intense, and I felt sick, and I
Yes.
was like, oh, and every time then that nausea came back, so I was like, this is no good. I need to stop this for a bit.
No, it's good. It's good because you're a top student, and you know that about yourself. Very capable, very certain, very curious, very joyful, and you're just hungry to learn. You're a good student. So good job. Yeah. So next time you do it, when you get into the too much pressure, it's like, okay, well, I'm a bit too excited. Maybe too okay. So it's just okay, go a little bit slower.
Hi there. Since I've done that exercise, the whole of the back of my skull seems to be tingling. Is that
really?
a normal reaction, or am I just my normal weird self?
Oh, you've entered a lot of wisdom. That's unlimited amount of wisdom. That's just, there is no lack of wisdom. You need the wisdom. You want to download more of the wisdom through this exercise. A little bit of tingling, perfect, wonderful, good job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, wisdom, yes. And there's everybody has a different experience. There is no wrong experience. Anybody else?
Anyone? Nope. I don't see anybody unmuting. So
Yeah, just a quick question. From a practical experience or expectation, what sort of things would clients come to you to resolve, and this sort of technique would be useful for?
I don't introduce this technique at the very beginning. No way. Usually when the clients they go through an intake, and it takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So what I do at the time is pretty much Ericksonian hypnosis with them. I go to comfort, support, comfortable and relaxed, comfortable and secure, and it's just pure Ericksonian, right? So I have them experience things in a way they're good for you, just for you, increasing your realization of comfort and delicious, comfortable. So I do this loops, like increasing your realization of comfort and delicious, comfortable, increase of your realization of comfortable, deliciousness, realizing comfortable and secure, comfortable and relaxed. So as I take them through these loops, and from a verb I make an adverb, and give quality to it, it just settles. Because with the verb there is nothing to do. When you have just a quality, it's like, oh, I like that quality, and it just happens. So, and then when I do coaching with high intellectuals, I take them to this exercise, but not just there are other exercises I take them through. But you are a hypnotist and you're highly capable, so it's okay for you.
wonderful. I have another comment here. I feel that it was more difficult to breathe when back and up.
Correct.
Why is that?
Congratulations. Oh, no, congratulations. Very good. Good job. Yes.
Why is that?
Good job.
Why is it? Yeah.
Because you really took your attention to where it was directed. And then when you take that, then the breathing, it's automatic, but also through that there was a degree of intensiveness to doing that. I'm doing it. Yay. So I'm happy to hear that. You didn't completely stop, but it felt there was a little bit of pressure. Yeah, because the pressure is not just in the head. It's sometimes it goes through here. And I diagnose things with that, right? But it's a diagnosis.
Okay. Can you explain that?
Oh yeah. That's for me is diagnosis. I've been doing this for how many years? Right, since starting in 2010. But it's diagnosis about your processes and your identity. It's not diagnosis of any pathology or anything like that.
Yeah. So did you just say the diagnosis, or would you like to share what would you diagnose from this about in terms of identity?
The feedback that I gave everybody.
Okay, so not specifically about the breathing itself.
No, this diagnosis is not a label. We're just
Oh,
so
okay.
familiar. We're just so familiar with labels. So actually, as we further go into this metacognition and meta emotion, then labels we just take out. I teach you how not to label things. What do you mean not label? I've been labeling all my life. Well, yes, you've done a good job. So now let's do another good job and not label.
Right. Okay. All right. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask now. But Carmen, I know because you've been on this program, you can promote yourself, and you're welcome to do that now. So you have a course coming up, and that's in January. I'm going to put
Yes.
your link into the chat for everyone, and it's a 28-week practitioner training, as far as I know.
Yes, this is a 28 weeks. So now let me go into the screen. So right there, if you go,
I'm going to take myself out.
If you go here into the link that you were given, this will, why metaconscious, you've already experienced metaconsciousness, and why it is designed, it is therapeutic design, because through all of the images I walked you through, it's a design. And I love certifying people in this, but what happens, and I don't want to keep you too long, I made this page specifically short enough, right? And we start January 8th and go 28 weeks. This is the most delicious experience you will ever experience in your life, because there is the amount of healing that happens. There's a little bit of theory, but then if we go 2 and 2.5 hours in per week, per class, you're gonna have an hour and sometimes an hour and a half of journeying, of experience. And when I take you to journey, it's all Jungian alchemy, a little bit of shamanism, a little bit of, we involve the chakras, and then we re-architect your identity. But what I do at the beginning with that, there's so much healing. I just uplift you from where you were in all of the pain, and a lot of pain you inherit from your clients and from the other layers of consciousness that you just carry and you shouldn't care. You shouldn't carry anymore. And then we uplift, and then we begin to deconstruct. So we begin with constructing. We use the metacognition that we've done his higher mind, and we construct the good stuff, the delicious stuff. And then we begin to deconstruct, because our metacognition sharpens at a time. And when we deconstruct, we don't want to go in there to feel it. So that's why we have an attention point that we go to and we come back from it. It's a highly important skill. It's very simple. It's just a matter of practicing it. So right here, you have a little bit of information. Again, what is identity? Identity is who you are, what moves through you, and who you are becoming. So what moves through you, and who are you becoming? So here you can take a peek at the curriculum. See how that's
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so it's 28 weeks. So you see, we're gonna cover, and I'm gonna use those images again. It's not just boring talk. And this is all, right now it sounds wordy because it is metacognition, but this is made joyful. And also right here, Fearfulness in a nutshell, you want to learn about it, download over here, and you're going to have this. It's a small booklet that goes over every single therapeutic modality that exists right now, and it tells you how this is different than that, especially NLP.
Oh, that's on the page, right?
Yeah, and over here you download that. You just go over here and download. It's just a PDF, because you're not gonna be able to read it here, or you might, depending on Zooming. But this, if you're curious about the curriculum, it's like it gives you a topic, and it gives you an idea, because people like to read.
Yeah, that's quite useful too, yeah.
The beauty of this is in the feeling, in the experience. It's not in the thinking. And this is hard for some people to grasp, the not thinking. Well, what do you mean? Well, if I don't think, then what? Well, you're still gonna think, but you're gonna think at a different level. Your thinking is going to be expanded. We go into this layer of thoughts where you're thinking. It's so wise, there is so much wisdom, there is so much quietness in your thinking that you begin to choose your thoughts. You observe so many things, and then you choose to engage with what you observe or not engage. What are you going to do, especially when you're with a client? Whatever you observe, what are you going to prioritize with a client based on what you observe in a client with a client? So it is a big deal. I mean, most modalities, they have a script. They go from here to here. This is the step you go through, which is good because I have a step you go through, but it's metacognition. So from the steps, because we need steps, yeah, we're somewhat linear. Then you get into this spaciousness that you say, oh, now I can use this, now I can use that, and I can use that. I have so many techniques I've been trained. Oh, I can use that. Or I can use a portion from here, and a portion from here, and a portion from here, and make my own sauce. Yes, make your own sauce. Because when you're in front with the client needs a particular different sauce. If you take different clients with the specific steps, you get some results. Yeah, they're coming back because you've done something, but
all right.
I don't know.
Well, thank you, Carmen, for being our guest tonight. And the link will go into the show notes and into the comments on Facebook as usual, into the group, and everywhere I usually put them, the replays. And thanks for being my guest or our guest. And thanks for everybody who came live and participated. And I hope you found it interesting. If you are watching the replay on YouTube or anywhere else, let me know how it was for you, especially the practice that we did. There are thank yous in the comments. And super interesting. And Christmas is coming up. So in January, we have coming up Adam Cox on the 14th of January, so that you already know. We have Diptide coming up on the 28th of January. On the 11th of February, John Scanlon. And that's it for now, but I have a long list of people who also want to come and speak. I just need to chase them a bit for times and dates. So, all right. These are the confirmed ones. Have a very lovely evening. Thank you so much for joining, or day, or afternoon, or whatever.
Thank you,
And
Astrid. I also put my email in a chat.
All your contact details. Yeah.
Please contact me on WhatsApp, find me on Facebook. Ask me anything you want to ask.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and have a lovely rest of the day. Okay. Bye-bye.